What is going on, moto friends? Behind me I have a Ducati Monster. Can this be a good beginner motorcycle? Let's take a ride and find out.
All right, everybody, we are riding. So today I'm going to be talking about this Ducati Monster and why it could be a great beginner motorcycle for some people. I've owned this bike for about a year now, and if you had asked me before I owned it if it would be a great beginner bike, I would have thought you're a little bit crazy. I mean, this thing puts out 111 horsepower, it's a V-twin, Italian power, and really torquey, especially low down. And now that I've had it for a year, I think it actually could be a fantastic beginner motorcycle and one that actually might save you some money in the long run. So let's get into it. Now, the most important thing to think about is what makes a great... Ooh, look at this. Woo-wee. Now, what makes a great beginner motorcycle? And I think some of the most important features of a beginner motorcycle are lightweight, flickable, easily maneuverable, consistently maneuverable, one that you can flat foot easily, because as a beginner, you run the risk of dropping your bike. It happens to everyone, no shame. So then you want a motorcycle that has great stopping power, because brakes are more important than acceleration, especially if you come to an emergency setting where you're going to need to really squeeze those brakes hard. Then, safety features, also incredibly important. So whether that be anti-lock brakes, riding modes, traction control, wheelie control, really anything that can improve the safety of your motorcycle, really important to have as a beginner. So I'm going to talk about all those things. Now let's start with first the seat height of this bike. This bike comes in from factory at 32.3 inches. And then you can also get optional lowering kits to drop it as low as 30.5 inches, and that's if you drop the suspension and the seat height. Now, I am about 5'11", 6 feet tall, and I can comfortably flat-foot the 32.3-inch seat height. And I'm going to overlay a little photo clip here just to show you where my feet are positioned. Very nice, feet bent, knees bent, and super stable at low speeds. And a lot of the drops you're going to get as a beginner are going to be during low-speed maneuvers. You might freak out at a stop sign or something, you know, and drop your bike, or forget to put the kicks down in the garage, something like that. Happens to everyone, not a big deal. Next, I want to talk about the lightness of a motorcycle. If you're a beginner, you don't want this big bike that's 500, 600 pounds, hard to maneuver. Again, you run the risk of dropping it when you're riding or at slow speeds. You want a motorcycle that's light, it's flickable, easy to maneuver. This motorcycle comes in at 390 pounds, 95 pounds wet, without gasoline. So probably, you know, in the low 400s when it's fully fueled and riding. Or if you've run out of gas, it'll be 395 pounds. So, again, that makes it very easily maneuverable, and I'm going to show you once we get to some turns around here. The next thing that I want to talk about is the stopping power of this motorcycle. This is our turn, actually. Speaking of stopping power, let me press the brakes here. All right, let's see if this car will go there. All right, so stopping power. I think it's more important for a beginner motorcycle to stop really quickly than to accelerate very quickly. Now, if you're coming into an emergency situation, something in front of you, an obstacle, and you need to press on the brakes, you want your brakes to smoothly and quickly stop you. This bike comes equipped with two 320 mil discs, and it also comes with really solid Brembo 4-piston radially mounted calipers. So I'm going to show you here, let's see. We're going third gear, 50, highway speeds, let's say 60, then we have to brake suddenly. This bike really does that very smoothly and easily. There's a car behind me, so I don't want to be doing any, you know, emergency braking, but we'll turn off here and show you some more braking power. All right. Actually, here's some curves, so let me show you. When I'm talking about the lightness and the flickability. This bike, third gear going 40 miles an hour, all you have to do is lightly push right, and this bike just falls right and is stable. I'm one-handing this bike right here, guys. Right? Coming up to some more curves, let me accelerate. We're going 54. Again, one hand, I'm just going to pull the handlebar now. Easy, very smooth, very light, very reliable handling. That's another thing that's really important for me when I'm thinking about a beginner motorcycle, because you don't want a bike that's going to act differently in different settings. This bike, you can predict exactly where it's going to go, how it's going to handle. It's fantastic. So, let's talk about then the engine, the nominal values. You're going to get 111 horsepower out of this motorcycle and 69 pound-feet of torque, which seems like a lot, and it is a lot. That's why this is really not billed as a beginner motorcycle all the time. But let me tell you, this has ride-by-wire, so you get 3 different riding modes. You're going to get an urban mode, which scales the horsepower down to 75. You're going to get a touring mode, which is, the full horsepower, but not as a twitchy of a throttle. And then a sport mode where you get the full beans, twitchy throttle, and really just go crazy. That's, intermediate, advanced riders will enjoy this motorcycle. But as a beginner, you can keep this motorcycle in its low power mode, the urban mode, which is what I have here. And that kind of leads nicely into the other safety features of this motorcycle, namely the traction control and the wheelie control. So if you look here, urban mode gives you traction control of 6, which is really all the way up, ABS of 3, wheelie control of 4, which is all the way up, and DQS is Ducati quick shifter. So I like to have the quick shifter activated. So I'm going to show you now the wheelie control, how that works. We're on a stretch. We're going first gear, 10 miles an hour. And I'm just going to really yank on this throttle. Watch what happens. Nothing, right? You see that little yellow light turn on the dash? That shows you that wheelie control is activated. I'll show you again. So going 27. Let me just mash on this throttle now. Ready? Go. And that front wheel really stays down and doesn't budge at all. So you're not going to wheelie this motorcycle when you're in urban mode. And that is a fantastic feature for a beginner rider. Then if you want to decrease your wheelie control, if you want to wheelie it, you can feel free to do so, but you just really are safe to keep it on there. Let me figure out where we're going to go. Let's see. Pull it right here. All right. Go up this way. All right, so the electronic riding aids on this motorcycle are fantastic, which is kind of the point I was trying to prove there. In addition to the wheelie control, you're going to get traction control and you're going to get cornering ABS, which again, if you're in a corner, you need to make an emergency stop. It is really easy to do so. Actually, there's no one behind me now, so let me show you the braking power on this. So we're going 55, 58, 60. Really push down hard on the brake 2-1. And you come to a really solid stop very quickly. So this bike can really do whatever you want it to do. And then flickability, you can just see me kind of carving it up. Really great. And this is all in urban mode. 75 horsepower. Like a beginner can handle this motorcycle. So kind of like an exciting revelation I had, because I thought, I started on a BMW G310 and learned very quickly that that's not enough power for me. That was about 30-something, almost 40 horsepower if I remember right. And I found out that sometimes you need to accelerate quickly to get out of trouble or to pass a car on the highway. That bike does not give you enough power to do that safely. It's not a good highway bike. This motorcycle, on the other hand, even with the 75 horsepower, let me put it in second gear, you can see this thing pulls pretty damn hard, right? Like very quickly into the 70s, very smoothly, no risk of wheeling. So again, the safety on the highway, being able to accelerate to overtake when necessary, is fantastic. So, when you're thinking about buying this motorcycle, you're not going to be coming in cheap, right? It's a $12,995 MSRP. Then with taxes and fees, you're going to be probably coming in at closer to $14,000 US, unless you have some sort of arrangement with the dealer. And if you do, well, hook me up. But you got to think about, if you buy multiple motorcycles, multiple beginner motorcycles, say you start on a 150 and you want a 300 or 400, every time you buy and sell one of those motorcycles, you're going to lose money on depreciation. So that may be $1,000, $1,500 at a time. And over time, that money adds up. So if you buy this as your beginner bike, you're probably not going to have to trade it in for something more powerful, really, ever, if you don't need more horsepower. I think 111 horsepower for road riding is pretty fantastic. But then again, I may be buying a Street Fighter V4S in the near future, so, not the best guy to ask. But you could get by with just having this motorcycle as your one and only motorcycle, starter bike, and then continuing into intermediate and more advanced riding. And at that point, you say you spend the $12,000 something MSRP, maybe you get it used. You can progress up the riding modes until you're comfortable, right? So start in the urban mode, continue along to touring mode, sport mode. Then you won't have that issue. Come on, man. Anyway, so you won't have that issue of running out of power on this motorcycle because you can really give it more. And then you're saving the money because you're not losing every time you're buying a smaller bike and reselling it. So that's a consideration. Obviously, 14 grand or so after taxes is not cheap, but in the scheme of things, you might be kind of saving in the long run. And that's kind of what happened with me. I started on the G310, as I mentioned, and I ended up selling it after 1 year, and I took a loss of probably maybe $1,200 to $1,300 on it, just because it was depreciated and I had to sell it. So that's just a thought for consideration. Otherwise, let's think about what we covered in this bike. We covered kind of the lightness of it, the safety features, including the traction control, ABS, and the braking system. Talked about the engine, the riding modes. Additional things that kind of improve the safety are the LED lights, the LED turn signals that improves your visibility, makes other cars more likely to see you on the road. Then, you have your TFT display, which gives you all the information you may need. So, engine temperature, air temperature, everything that really you could ask for. It comes with a fuel gauge, unlike that Street Fighter V4 I'm looking at, so you won't run out of fuel. So yeah, really pricing revelation, but over the last year I've really been thinking about more beginner content, kind of getting more riders into the hobby, and I think this motorcycle is an exciting bike. I've loved riding it. I like riding it fast. I like riding it in sport mode. But if you tone the thing down, it's a really accessible motorcycle for other people. So really, in summary, you can flat foot this thing at a normal height. It's lightweight. It's flickable. ABS gives you strong stopping power. It has really excellent riding modes, great traction control, great wheelie control, stability, and I think if you are on the fence, try to find a dealer that'll give you a test ride on one of these and see what you think. If you have any questions about the bike, ownership of this bike, leave a note in the comments and I'll respond to every question, every comment. And now, before I leave you, here's a little video clip of me just showing you what this bike actually can do in the sport mode. So enjoy, thanks for watching, and stay tuned for more.